And Chris, might be a bit of a weird question, but are you wearing pants right now?
I'm wearing pants right now. Okay. Confirmed.
Okay, confirmed. Yesterday, Bruce Boudreau was not wearing pants. And we found out. We saw that when he logged off. So just you do have pants on. Okay, this is good.
Did that really happen?
Not on camera, but we saw it. Well, like, you know how you're in the back room before we bring you on? Bruce yesterday, he's on, he's doing a great hit.
He's looking great.
And then he wraps up the segment, and he sometimes sticks around and watches for a bit, and he kind of put his laptop down a bit, and you see he's just wearing his ginch. It's just like...
Right framed perfectly.
He's so awesome, man. I love Bruce Boudreau. It was perfect. He's the best. Anyway, I will say this. I have done hits without pants on.
Why not?
Like sometimes.
Yeah, you don't need them.
Especially when let's say I joined the shows when I'm on the road doing CFL, Reed show or your guys' show.
Maybe he's trying to keep the crease in them.
Maybe that's what it was, a Seinfeld reference. Well done, Eric. All right, Chris, the Edmonton Oilers hang 9 on the Kraken. Over these 2 games against the Kraken Saturday and last night, their power play went 6 for 7. Their penalty kill was 9 for 9. Like, they absolutely destroyed the Kraken on the special teams. But it was nice for that team to finally have that game, wasn't it?
Yeah, if you're a team like the Oilers, you wish you could just have ordered this on Uber Eats a few weeks ago. Yes. And I think it's exactly what they need. And I heard you ask the question, and maybe a bit rhetorically, are they back? Like, I feel like they are back. We're not that far removed from the Dallas stinker, but if you look towards the end of the road trip they had here out east, and then what's happened since, even with the loss to Minnesota 1-0 game. I mean, I think that they're certainly they've taken pretty clear and measurable steps forward from where they were in October and most of November, and then you get the big guys feeling it, even some of the lesser lights putting up some points. As much as points don't really matter in the big scheme of things, I think everyone there's a little human aspect to wanting to do well and to seeing those things go in. So yeah, I think that this is just what the doctor ordered, and as you highlight there, even getting the specialty teams dialed in. I mean, that's when I think of what's been a separator for Edmonton. Obviously, it's a top guys, the talent they have, but even the power play and things over the last number of years have been deadly for them, and wasn't really where you'd expect it to be early in this season.
Yeah, and the Wild game was weird. The whole Wallstead conversation, I don't know if you're familiar with that.
They had a chance to draft.
I haven't heard that one before. But we come out of that game, and McDavid one shot, and of course passing up on some of, I argue, a good opportunity to at least get a point there in that game. But 7 shots last night, the hat trick, it almost seems like, challenge there, and he flips the switch, much like we can say sometimes this team can do later on in the season.
Very true. I don't know in that Wallstead conversation, did anyone point out that Wyatt Johnston could have been an Edmonton Oiler as well?
I've never heard of that before.
Some people added on as like a topping to the conversation.
Wyatt Johnston, who was ranked higher than Xavier Bourgault anyway. Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Because that's the guy, for me, it's actually more of the miss. I mean, we'll see what Wallstead... Yeah. He's had an amazing start to his career. I'm not, you just goalies that go up and down so much. But if Wyatt Johnston was... Anyway, I'm getting distracted here. But with Connor McDavid, I mean, yeah... It's funny because, I remember some of the interviews he gave before the season was talking about scoring 50 goals again. And then you didn't necessarily see this. I kind of thought he was just going to come out scoring this season. And, it hasn't started early, but I just wonder if you're going to see him adopt maybe more of that shooting mentality. I mean, we know the guy can do whatever he puts his mind to. Like wherever his focus is, I expect him to be elite and great at. I know ultimately all he's really worried about is trying to get the Oilers over the hump to win that Stanley Cup. But, he has a role in that in what he does. And I think, him as a goal scorer is pretty tantalizing. And, in the game last night, he has, the 7 shots, as you mentioned. I mean, it just felt like he was looking for those opportunities more. And, I personally, I mean, I don't want to be grading his game, but I'd like to see him do that a little bit more. I think it would also open up some different options for the team, when it comes to setup games. So, I mean, just the most dynamic offensive player. I've been on some other hits this week, obviously not in the Edmonton market, where they're trying to bait me into saying Nathan McKinnon's now the best player in the world. And as great as McKinnon's been this season, I'm not prepared to go there yet. And I even feel better about it watching McDavid last night because he's not too far back in the scoring race now too.
How about CJ, big McDavid guy? I like it. That's
confirmed, yeah.
So the other low-key story that sort of flew under the radar a bit last night just because of what McDavid did, but Matt Savoie had a couple of goals for the Edmonton Oilers last night. And there is a spot here in this. And now without Roslovic, it's even more pressing that they find somebody that can contribute offensively. Because Frederick hasn't been that guy. Mangiapane doesn't really look like he's going to be, another option that you can plug into the top six. But Matt Savoie getting a couple of goals last night. He's been around it this year. It hasn't really popped for him offensively yet, but great opportunity for him to actually establish himself as a guy that they can rely upon a bit for offense. That could go a long way for this kid.
Yeah, and it would be such a great development for the team for the reasons you mentioned, that if maybe this little window of time where he's playing in this spot where, we won't necessarily expect him to be, and if he grabs hold of it, I mean, this is kind of how it goes in the league. And it sounds like with both Kapanen and Roslovic out for a while, I mean, there's definitely within the Oilers sort of hierarchy, there's room to be. I mean, that team seems to move it around. I'll put it this way, as much as anyone when it comes to the forward line. So, I think if you get on a heater and Matt Savoie's case is still pretty young in his career, if he can get some confidence going and keep building on his game, I mean, I don't see any reason why he can't be playing a more meaningful offensive role. And the beautiful thing in Edmonton is if you can do that, I mean, we're not going to ever be saying Matt Savoie has to be the one who scores tonight. Yeah. He's going to be playing with other players who you're just looking for him to complement those guys and obviously chip in to justify that spot in the lineup. But, I think that could be a real boost to someone, especially, earlier in his career like he is, to just see a few go in there and who knows, maybe he'll get hot and keep that going and ride it into a great second half.
Also, I mean, we spoke to you last Friday, Oilers in Seattle last Saturday, and it's no coincidence, I guess, the return of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has seen them, elevate the game. 3 assists last night. But, whether it's 3C or up at the top line, I mean, having him in the lineup, and especially we talk about the special teams, such an important cog in that aspect as well.
Yeah, and I think there's value in his versatility. And, obviously he's played so long in that city for the coaches, the manager, like everyone knows what he is. And so I think it's really useful to have a player like that who, depending, because I mentioned they do shift the lines around more than maybe some other teams, that you can drop them down and have them as your third line center, or you have them skating with McDavid Hyman. I mean, I think both options in any given moment are great for the Oilers, and really just kind of maybe flies below the radar, maybe not as much in Edmonton, of course, but nationally, just given who he's played beside these last number of years. But I think a super useful player on a great cap hit. I mean, there's really nothing bad to be saying about RNH. You want him in the lineup, and with him healthy, you're right. No surprise. The Oilers look like a better team.
GS Construction Hockey insider Chris Johnston with us on the Firehouse Subs hotline this morning. CJ, let's flip over to international hockey. We'll get to this Team Canada meeting coming up here. But what is the absolute latest on this hilarious little rink they're going to be playing on at the Olympics?
I mean, it's not pretty, is it? And, it's one of these things. Look, it's a little bit more than 3 feet short. I don't know. Some players think it'll have an impact. I mean, obviously these guys are very precise in what they do. Probably won't affect too much, but I think the fact that it's even happened is emblematic of what's not been a smooth process to get this arena built, to have, basically to get NHL players back to the Olympics, right? It's been 12 years and here we are 2 months out almost from the start of the tournament, and the venues aren't completed yet. And, I think there is a high level, I'm sensing actually an increasing level of confidence that, the arenas will get done. We're going to have a tournament. Yeah, I think that sometimes, some of these discussions will probably get quickly pushed aside once we get over there and, Canada's playing a game against Finland or whatever, where we focused on that pretty quickly. But, it hasn't been a very smooth process. And, essentially, look, Italy's not a country where they build hockey arenas as much as they do in other parts of the world. And, there's been some construction challenges. They were late to start the main arena. And, they basically took all of August this year off, I heard. So, I mean, it's just a different cultural setup. But, I do think, not to make too much light of it, I think that they're getting close to being done. It's just not ideal. I mean, the truth is the main arena is going to have 33 games in 18 days. So basically two games a day, call it. Like we haven't seen a game yet played on that ice surface. Like there could be things you would want to adjust in a normal circumstance. You would want to be going to an arena that's been a functioning arena, but that's not the case. And, there is a meeting today with the league, the players, the International Olympic Committee for an update on that. So we'll see if there's any kind of tangible update because obviously I don't think they enjoy the spotlight being on this, but we can't get around the fact that it's a bit of a mess. Like it's just a fact. The fact the arenas aren't done and it's December, and the fact that they're not built to NHL specs, even though they're supposed to be. I mean, there's no part of this I can say has been handled seamlessly.
CJ, before I let you go, Team Canada's got some meetings coming up. What are going to be the big talking points there, do you think?
They're basically finalizing the roster. I mean, I think they'll come out of those meetings probably with the final handful of forwards for, say, 2 jobs. I wouldn't expect that they would lock in on who the 3 goalies are just yet because a lot can happen there. But I think that the problem is they're not going to come out of those meetings on Monday or Tuesday and tell us who's on the team.
Yeah.
But I do think the management group's going to know pretty, down to a couple final decisions who it's going to be. And, I expect that team will be announced December 31st. So, we're only a few weeks away from the announcement now. And man, I wish I was a fly on the wall. I would love to hear we're all been having the Bedard Celebrini conversation externally, but internally, Bedard scored again last night in LA. I would love to hear how they're going to treat that because I think both those guys were facing a long odds to make the team if we go back to the start of the year, but based on what they've done, I don't see how they keep them off now.
That's going to be an interesting discussion for sure. I look forward to that. CJ, we appreciate the time, man. Thanks a lot.
No problem. And I will always wear pants. Just let the record show. I've never done one of these hits.
You're an always pants
in my
guy.
gitch.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
or shorts, but I'm not wearing just gitch ever.
Good stuff, man. We'll chat next week.
See you, bud.